Being on rollers before, but I think this is even difficult.
It's quite difficult.
Roll camera.
Camera speed.
Please blur.
The main idea behind Aventon is what we call Redefine Adventure. It's really about offering a product that gives every cyclist the opportunity to kind of step out of their comfort zone. Thinking about how we can bring this to life with a campaign, it was quite tricky to do it in a traditional way. We really wanted to figure out what modern tech we can use to bring this to life. What you can see behind us is a fairly sophisticated LED screen setup. Lots of screens, bikes on rollers. New approach for us. I think it's a new approach for Shift, and it's really cool to see what's possible.
We've been working with Aventon for nearly a year on this project. We're highly focused on the cycling category. That allows us to bring a huge amount of data and expertise on the rider and the marketplace itself. We also have the Rider Research Hub, which is our own research platform, which enabled us to do research specifically into e-bike riders in Europe, which were able to give us a really good grounding to make this kind of unique and innovative campaign. Then the team, with their craft expertise and also their production know-how, were able to, I guess, take that idea and turn it into something that was kind of really distinctive and different, and that was all led here in-house.
We wanted like a really visually engaging way of bringing this to life. So the idea really was that every time you clicked your fingers, we show a different rider on a different bike in a different location anywhere around the world. You are directing, reacting to a background that's ever-changing behind you. You're trying to get natural riding on a rig, which is fixed, which is quite difficult. We needed to control the position of the bike, the repeatability, the timing, the speed of the film, and marry that perfectly with the riding.
Here at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre, we have a workshop where we develop all the shows that come through. And in terms of this project, we had to create a box that had an inset. And in that inset, we had some bike rollers that the bikes were balanced on with support. We had to take into account adapting it to be swapped over from each individual bike. So each individual bike almost had its own platform. Having to create a support for a bike and still have natural movement, there's so many elements that you don't see until you actually starting to put it together. And so it's just identify and eliminate and creating solutions to get the effect. And that was rather rewarding.
We knew that we wanted to shoot as much in camera as possible, or achieve as much in camera as possible. I think that, combined with the need to shoot in diverse locations, led us to virtual production. I think the key was integration. Practical effects would give us authenticity, and then knowing how AI or digital tools could kind of extend or enhance that.
Virtual production is quite a broad term. You know, I think people think about it as LED wall and actors in front of that. I think it's mainly a camera, whether it's tracked or not, like in 3D space, in some sort of virtual background, I think is the general term I like to think. We looked at AI as like, actually this could be a really good use case for it. So in the case of this one, it was, how can we, using AI, generate backgrounds that would look realistic and have the right motion for all of these environments that we were set out to do. I think there was 14 of them in total. We knew we only wanted to have about 3 to 4 seconds of content that would be used per shot in the clip. And we knew the limitations of AI was for about 10 seconds. And we knew that the power of AI, you can get really high quality outputs. Maybe with some artifacting that needed touching up in post, which did happen, but it felt like the right tool for the job at the right time.
The AI allowed us very quickly to move from we want an image that looks like this to a plate that was moving, to a plate that was moving in the way that we wanted, and then we could look at adjusting things like time of day, weather conditions, lighting conditions. We were able to quickly lock in a repeatable process. Generally what you would do with a production like this is you'd make one element of it would be the new thing you're trying, and everything else would be a standard workflow. Here we were doing new all the way down the line, to the point where we were still using the AI to adjust the plates during the shoot. Generally VP isn't a place for experimentation, and yet in this production we absolutely did experiment on the fly in the room, and that was really exciting to see.
The most satisfying part actually is when you start to see it all work together, because you've been seeing it in composite parts beforehand. When you bring it all together, it just comes to life, and I think at that point it gets really exciting.